Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. First of all, we'd like to thank you all for joining us today. My name is Jiayu, and I will be your host. If you have any questions for our speaker during the presentation, please use the Q&A functions throughout the webinar. And at the end of the presentation, our speaker will do his best to address those questions asked. With this being said, please allow me to introduce you to today's presenter, Dr. Dimitris Kampsaris. Dr. Kampsaris is the Vice President of Bearston College UK, founder of International Advisory operating in the GCC countries in the oil and gas industry, diplomatic and geopolitical advisor for international business strategy, Senior Vice President of the International Institute of Marketing Professionals, Editor-in-Chief of the African Journal of Social Science, and member of Harvard alumni. Further to this post, he has great experience in higher education, international business and negotiation, international trade, and public relations. Today, Dr. Kampsaris will be talking about artificial intelligence in decision-making. Welcome to Global Virtual Summit, Dr. Kampsaris. We are very glad to have you with us today. The floor is yours. I hope we all enjoy the session today. You can start sharing your screen.
Thank you very much for the kind words. Let me share my screen now. Behaviors, skills, values, attitude, preferences. And this learning could be through playing, or it could be through schools, through being in different situations. We learn through repeated experiences. The reasoning are acts of thinking. It's the way by which thinking moves from an idea to another idea that is related to the first idea. That is the capacity of making sense of things, applying the logic, explain the actions, support the explanations, justify the practices and decisions, and all these based on information that we have. Planning for the future. What's that? What is planning? We don't plan. What we do when we plan. We think about the activities required to move from a specific point that we are to our destination. As we said earlier, we try to predict the future through our planning. Okay, so we prepare a sequence of actions in order, a sequence of steps in order to achieve a specific goal. And on the way from the present to the future, what we do, we check the progress. And once we are away from our road, from our way to the planned future, we divert from the route. What we do, we take corrective actions. Creativity that we cannot plan. What is creativity? Well, we as humans, we have the tendency to view things in new ways and generate or recognize ideas, alternatives, possibilities. Okay, and all these, the creativity has to be valuable because it brings us useful ways of solving the problems. This ability is linked to flexibility, so we're not rigid, tolerance of ambiguity and unpredictability, we cannot predict. So we do something a lot of things can go wrong or can go in another direction. Are we tolerant to these ways of life? Then we can be creative. Creativity is also linked to the enjoyment of things that are unknown. We go to another area where things are unknown. What we do is we try to make it known. Critical thinking. It's the analysis of facts in order for us to make a judgment, to be a yes or a no. It is self-corrective thinking. Oops, I did it correct. Oops, I did not do it correct. So I will correct myself. And it requires effective communication between us and our surrounding, problem-solving abilities, and a commitment, which is very important, to overcome the egocentrism and the social centrism. Egocentrism, I am at the center, or social centrism, my culture, my people are at the center. And let's move to problem solving. And this is methods to find solutions to problems. It's the ability to understand what is the end goal. What is the end goal? What do we want to achieve through our motion? And what rules apply? Because not all methods are allowed to be applied. Okay. So what we need there, we need to define well the problems. Imagine many of us are solving problems that are defined in the wrong way. If the problem is defined in the wrong way, then we don't know what the problem is. We're solving problems that does not exist. So what we have to do is to identify exactly what is our problem. How can we understand what is our problem? How can we define our problem? We define our problems by finding information about the problem. How can we find information? By collecting data. We collect data, we turn the data into information, and we have a better understanding of what the real problem is. Okay, so we have specific end goals, clearly expected solutions, and allowable planning. Sometimes the problems require, and this is something important in human intelligence, what a problem requires is abstract thinking and creative solutions. Decision making, very important. What is decision making? Decision making is the process resulting in selection of a course of action among possible alternative options. Great, yeah, you said about that, but to make a decision, first of all, we have to have the alternatives. How will we have the alternatives? We have the alternatives through the information that we gather, actually the data and the information we have from the data, and we make a decision. This is what decision making is. Now, let's think about it. Do we make rational decisions all the time? Do we always buy the best car for us or not? Do we always make a good judgment of the situations around us? many of the decisions that we make are irrational. Although we take the decision, we know that the decision is not for our benefit, or we see the future. Because once we calculate all the data that we have 2 or 3 good decisions, sometimes we choose the 4th, which is not included in these 3 that comes from our systems. Why? Because we make assumptions again. The brain does not feel good when when there are gaps. It does not feel good. And when it does not feel good, what it does, it makes assumptions. This is important. You know, we have preferences. Okay, what is the best food to have for our human bodies? This is the best food. Do we eat always the best food? Or we choose based on our preferences? We get some muffins, we get some donuts. Are they good? Yeah, we made the decision to buy these. Are these good for our body? No, probably not. Not for us, not good, but we have this preference. Now, also, it's based on beliefs of the decision maker. What are my beliefs? What are my beliefs? Gives me the answer to my problems and helps me make a decision. Is it rational? Sometimes it's rational, sometimes not that rational. Now, let's see artificial intelligence. What's that? Earlier, we spoke about intelligence and the dimensions of intelligence. Now, here we have another term, artificial intelligence. What's that? It's the intelligence demonstrated by machines. So what do the machines do or try to do? They try to mimic, as we said earlier, the cognitive functions of human mind. The machines try to mimic the cognitive, the brain functions of our mind by learning something that is outside of our knowledge area, and solve problems, because these are the functions that the human mind has. Now, the difference between us, the humans, and the machines is that sometimes we do not want to learn, or we're afraid to learn. Why? We know we have the comfort zone, which is the area where we feel comfortable to be in. We have, okay, it's the area that we are comfortable, and we live there and we are very happy. And we do not move outside of this area, because out of this area, around it, like a ring around it, is what we call the fear area. We're afraid. We're afraid to go out of our comfort zone. And we go out. No, we have fear. We're afraid of this area. And why we're afraid? Most of us are afraid because we don't know. And when we do not know, or what we do not know, we're afraid of. So, what can we do? We have to bypass this fear area to move Yeah. Let me mention only that in this fear area, where are rational issues that we're afraid of, there are also irrational issues, like the phobias. We have phobias, not real fears, but we, on ourselves, they act as real, uh, real, real fear. Once we move away from the fear zone, we move into the learning zone. So there we learn new things we're not afraid of. And further, we move into the growth zone. Let's go to the machines. What do the machines do? Do the machines have comfort zone? No, that's as far as I'm aware of. They do not. Do they have fear zone? I mean, what does a machine fear? Does your car have any fears? I think not. So suddenly we overpass these mental stages that we have as humans when we part of intelligence into machines. Earlier we said about the intelligent agents. What is an intelligent agent? Is any device that perceives its environment, so the device that understands where it is, what it is, and the purpose of being there, and takes actions that maximizes its chance of successfully achieving its goals. Remember, earlier we said that when we make decisions, sometimes the decisions are not rational because they're based on our fears, on our beliefs, on our preferences, on our assumptions. Do you think that the cars make assumptions? When you drive a car that has some artificial intelligence, does it make assumptions or fears or preferences? Yes, no. I mean, the preferences probably what is the route that we could use in order to reach our destination earlier. What else? Assumptions in artificial intelligence. Okay, the human intelligence can be precisely described. A machine can be created to simulate it. So we can create a machine that looks like the human brain. But this is an assumption made in the artificial intelligence world. Okay? Some people consider the artificial intelligence as danger to humanity if it progresses unrestricted. So they have to be some restrictions. Also, some people are afraid that due to the artificial intelligence, a lot of people will lose their jobs. So the unemployment rate will raise. Okay, yeah, of course. What are the capabilities of a machine that has artificial intelligence? You know, they understand human speech. Also, they compete at the highest level in strategic games like chess. They have self-driving cars. They do military simulations. They do a lot of things. What types of AI we have? We have the narrow one, which is weak AI that operates within a limited context and is the simulation of human intelligence focused on performing one single task extremely well. Okay, it operates under constraints and limitations that the basic human intelligence. So it does simple things, but it does it perfectly. This is the narrow artificial intelligence. We have the artificial general intelligence. Here we have a strong artificial intelligence machine with general intelligence and act like a human being. And it can apply the intelligence to solve various problems. The artificial intelligence is a system that has the ability to correctly interpret external data. Why it can correctly interpret external data? Because it does not make the assumptions humans do. Also, it collects data, and these data are the building blocks or the raw material to the learning. So through its experience, it learns. And imagine how fast incoming data are gathered and processed extremely fast. So you understand that the learning it has, the learning ability, it increases exponentially. We use this learning to achieve specific goals and tasks through flexible adaptation. The goals of artificial intelligence is reasoning, knowledge representation, planning, learning, natural language processing, perception, ability to move and manipulate objects. So you see, a lot of the goals of the artificial intelligence are very common to the human intelligence. But the artificial intelligence uses algorithms. What are the algorithms? Algorithms are sets of clear instructions that a computer can execute. Very clear instruction. If this, then that. These are capable of learning from data. From the data gathered, turned into information, the machine can learn. And this is through the algorithms that enhance themselves by learning new strategies. But what? We did something, it went well. So that means that every time we have the same situation, we are in the same situation, we will have the same decision. Okay. Also, they write other algorithms. That means that the machine that has initially an algorithm to start learning, through its learning, it will, and the knowledge accumulated, it will be able to write their own algorithms. They consider all possible hypotheses and match them against the data. So they have hypotheses and they see what is the correlation between the the hypothesis made and the data gathered. You know, data are solid. Of course, we don't have the possibility to consider all the possibilities. Why? Because we have what we call the I don't know if I can pronounce this word, combinatorial explosion. And what is that? It has to do with the time that is needed to solve a problem grows exponentially. So we cannot have all the possibilities in this case, of course. It will take much time, a lot of time. And you know, a decision is good when it is taken on time. Beyond the time, the opportunity is lost. We have assisted intelligence, which is automation of basic tasks, machines and assembly lines. We have augmented intelligence, where the machine learns from human input, so the human inputs the information for the machine to work, and we have autonomous intelligence, and this has to do with does not have the humans in the loop, does not take into account what the humans give them, because they make autonomous decisions, and they can also create their own algorithms, as we said earlier. Okay, this is the human cognitive function. We said earlier that the humans do not always make rational decisions. So what we do we all humans use the same way to solve the problem? Of course not. So what is human decision making? If humans don't make the decisions through the same process. Now, humans, we don't use a single step-by-step approach to solve the problems. Most of the times, the way we use as humans to solve problems has to do with our intuition. And we make our judgments not based on facts and data, but based on our intuition. Yeah, this looks good, this looks as the best solution, but I will do the other one. As we compare with humans, the artificial intelligence does not have some very important human characteristics, such as the common sense reasoning. This is about the space, the time, and the physical interactions. It is a mechanism that enables people to make conclusions. To make conclusions using the common sense reasoning. Okay? Outside here, it's night. I'm not going to wear my sunglasses. It is common sense reasoning. Conventional psychology. This is another feature that artificial intelligence does not have. Conventional psychology is a mechanism that helps to interpret natural language sentences. We say words, we say sentences. Do we mean exactly what we say at face value or not? It's according actually to the culture. We say something and we mean something else. So what is the, so let me give you an example. If I tell my colleague here, oh, it's cold here. What do I mean? Do I mean that I feel cold? No, I mean that somebody turned on the heater or somebody closed the window. It's too dark here. What it means? Means, please, somebody turn on the lights. So we don't always say what we are saying. So we say, it's dark in here, and the interpretation is, please turn on the lights. This is a feature that machines cannot understand. Of course, we can talk at face value, but then we lower our level to the level of the machine. So we mean everything that we say at face value. Also, common knowledge. The AI does not have common knowledge. Common knowledge is what we all have. It consists of the facts about the everyday world that all humans are expected to know. Oh, it's raining outside, I'll take my umbrella. Common sense. Common knowledge. Common sense knowledge. What is known to the average person about the world around us. It contains objects. This is mobile, properties, categories, relations between objects. For example, we have a wallet, we have money. We have a relationship between these objects, and we can make a relation of situations, what we do in a specific situation, events, states and time, causes and effects, if this then that. This is science. Cause effect in the physical world and also in the social world, and human beings as part of the social world. We don't have a cause and effect. It's a bit different because we have psychology included, we have preferences. I mean, if I tell you all, let's say that there is a study that states that everybody in the office should have every morning at 9 o'clock black coffee and a banana. And we say, okay, everybody from tomorrow, not tomorrow is weekend, from first day of the week, we will have a banana and a black coffee. I said, oops, I don't like bananas. Yeah, but it's good for you. No, I don't like bananas. So, I mean, there's a preference. So why should I take a banana? Or I drink my coffee black. But most of the people, they like to have some sugar or some milk. Or they don't want coffee, or they want tea. Or something else. A chocolate. Although it's good, does not mean that everybody will follow it. Also, it's knowledge about the knowledge. What we know about what the other people know. Very important. Knowledge about the knowledge. Let's go a bit further. The range of common sense knowledge. the fact that the average person knows is large. So can we teach the machine to understand all the facts that the average people know? Of course, we cannot stay on the average. We have people that know these things, the other people know these things. So it's a bit of a mess. To build a base of common sense knowledge requires an enormous amount of lengthy ontological engineering. It must be built by hand, one complicated concept at a time. Remember, with a banana, some people want, some people don't want it. Problems in knowledge representation. What we know forms a working assumption, something that is revised as we go forward and the evidence changes. So something that I believe it exists now and it's true now, every day I think about it again and again, and sometimes change it. Okay? So, as we said earlier, for any common sense rule that the researcher of the artificial intelligence represents, there is a huge number of exceptions. How can we put these exceptions within the mind of a computer? Nothing is simply true or false. Also, we have sub-symbolic form of common sense knowledge. What people know is not represented as facts or as statements that they could express verbally. So I know something. You know something. Do you know it as a fact? Do you know it as a statement that you made? I do this. No. Most of them are inhabited in our brains that has an effect on our decisions. So we cannot express them verbally because probably we don't know why we take such decisions. Remember, we take decisions many times, irrational decisions. Okay? So I have an example here. Let's say a businessman will not follow a specific tactic. Why? Because this business person feels too exposed. What exposed means? What exposed means for the specific business person is not what exposed means for a different business person. To different business people, to different people, we understand reality through our own emotions, through our own experiences. Okay. So, for example, we say, oops, the water in my coffee is cold. What cold means? What cold means for me may not be the same as what cold means for you. Is it cold to drink it? Is it cold for a coffee? Is it cold to have a shower with? And different people perceive what to be exposed means in a different way. most of these, as we said earlier, representations are non-conscious, so we do not understand that we have these tendencies or these ways of thinking, sub-symbolic intuitions. We see something, we consider it as bad luck, or we consider something, we feel that we are very, that's a good sign, I don't know. And also, we have different tendencies in our brains. Different humans, different tendencies. Other humans are more optimistic. Other humans are more pessimistic. Other humans are more, the optimistic would risk more. The pessimistic, they will find a way why not to say yes. So we have different personalities. Each one of us have a different personality. Through that, we have different ways of understanding and interpreting what is going on around us. Let's move to machine learning. Through the algorithms, we can help, we can make our machines learn. This machine could be unsupervised in order to learn. The machine, through the algorithms, can have the ability to find patterns, okay, without requiring the human to level what is, for example, we give an input to the as we have, let's say that the machine is a bookcase, and we say, oh, oops, this book is accounting, so I will put it in the section of accounting. This book is economics, I will put it in the section of economics. No, the machine find it and put it where it belongs. We have deep learning. Deep learning, what is that? Is the use of artificial neural network to facilitate learning at multiple layers, different layers, learning at different layers from superficial to deep. So we have big data. We have this way of managing, actually acquiring, managing our data, where we have the possibility of storing and analyzing infinite number of data. But what is the perception of the machine? What is the perception of the machine? Machine perception is the ability to use input from sensors. So around us, there are a lot of sensors. We have cameras, different spectrum, visible, infrared. We have microphones, we have wireless signals, we have sonar, we have radars. We can gather this in order to make a perception to the machine, to understand the world and move forward. Yeah, but machines and humans could be ethical or unethical. Can we say the same about the machines? Can the machines make an unethical decision? What would be, let's say that we have a factory and we have 10 the factory does not work well. We have 10 employees that we need to fire. What are we going to do? Fire them? Is it ethical, or we should, as humans, try to find a new way of having them abroad without having to fire them in another department, or I don't know, find some way to keep them in the company without firing them? Of course, this has to do with culture again. Oops, what's culture? What is culture? Culture is, in few words, the way we do business here. How we do the business here. What are our beliefs? What are our norms? The normalities that we have. What is normal for our society? For, when I say society, it would be the society of a company. That's the group of people working there, along with the other stakeholders, like the clients, the suppliers, the shareholders, everybody, employees. Okay, so what would the machine do? The machine just sees the numbers and makes the decision that we need to be effective and efficient. Effective is to accomplish the goal. Efficient is to not to waste much of our resources, use the resources in such a way as we are not wasting them, and resources are the time, money, labor force, etc. So what would the machine do in order for the factory to work effectively and efficiently? Does it have feelings for the employees? Probably not. Is that behavior, you see, now we talk about machine behavior. Is that behavior by the machine ethical? Yeah, to some extent it is. Because if we lower the labor force, the rest of the employees, let's say the other 100 employees, will keep on having a job. While if we keep the 10, probably all of the employees will lose their job. The 110 employees will lose their jobs. So somehow it looks, from one perspective, it's ethical. From another perspective, it's unethical. So let's see. The machines have the potential to use intelligence to prevent harm and minimize the risk. So if we, let's say, fire these 10 employees, then the risk for the rest of the employees is getting lower. Yeah, good. And prevent harm. We will do it this way so people will not suffer. Okay, of course. Also, the machines have the ability to use ethical reasoning to better choose their actions. Okay, who told them? Who told the machine to fire these 10 employees? Who made the initial decision when designing the machine? The machine itself? Who wrote the algorithms? We did. So if the algorithm used by the machine embodies levels of ethical, let's say, behavior, the machine will be ethical. Yes. But what is ethics? Is it something that is universal around the world? No. Something ethical in one country may not be ethical in another country. It's getting a bit complicated here. The machine cannot show empathy, cannot simulate what is the human empathy. And what is empathy? Empathy, not sympathy. Sympathy is to feel uh, pity for somebody. Empathy, the side, is something very important. It is part of the emotional intelligence. Empathy is, in simple words, actually, to put ourselves in the other person's shoes. I mean, if the machine has to fire somebody, does the machine understand how is it to be fired? Of course not, because they're not going to fire a machine. Let's see some impact that we have. Let's see some impact. As the studies show, middle-class jobs may be eliminated by artificial intelligence. You know, in the older times, the managerial pyramid was like this. Now it's getting flatter. That means that layers between the managers do not exist. In the older times, they had different layers of as a supervisor, we have team leader, we have different kinds of management, directors among them, blah, blah, blah. We have a lot of layers. Did they make? Yes, they did have some employees underneath. But did they make any decisions? Most of them, no. And now the pyramid got flattened. It's like this, a lot of layers. Now it goes like this. Less layers. Why? Because most of these layers made automatic decisions. If this, then that. Yeah, a machine can do that. We don't need someone to do this. So middle class jobs may be lost. Of course, we need to formulate policies and regulate artificial intelligence and build what we call the human rights framework. Because the humans have it should have a say here. I mean, it's not machines. I mean, the machines are not going to buy cars or buy shoes. The economic effects of artificial intelligence are uncertain. We don't know what will happen. Because a substantial increase in unemployment. A lot of people lose their jobs in the fields. So while the automation eliminates the old jobs, new jobs are created. New jobs, a lot of new jobs. A few years ago, I found a bank that closed the majority of its branches. Why? Because I don't know about you, but I haven't been to a bank, to a branch for the last I don't know, 5 years. I do everything online. Why do I need to go to the bank? So why would the banks keep their branches? Yes, but if this thing happened, then a lot of employees, bank employees, tellers, and so on, will lose their jobs. Yes, but new jobs are created. What are the benefits, economic benefits of artificial intelligence? Of course, we have improved healthcare. Okay. Now, with all this data, we can make better diagnosis. We can make better prevention of the diseases, and the healthcare and the health of the employees of the people will be much better. Also, we have an increase in the efficiency of farming. So we do not waste the ingredients needed there, like water or whatever. Okay, efficiency in farming is much better. So if this is true, if it helps the farming, then the artificial intelligence contributes to the climate change mitigation and adaptation. It improves the efficiency also of the production systems. Why? Because we do not waste. We do not waste raw material. We do not waste labor force. And also through the predictive maintenance. Now, let's go to businesses. The artificial intelligence is an opportunity to automate the business processes. It empowers people to become focused, efficient, and productive. It's much better for the employees. It's much better for the consumers, the customers. We do not need to deal with things that does not need our brain functions. Okay? So our brain will be free to deal with other more important challenges that add real value. The technology of the artificial intelligence is the means towards effectiveness and efficiency. Helps us improve and innovative capabilities. Come on, innovative? How can the machine innovate? Can they think creatively? No, but humans can. But if humans deal with repetitive workload, then we do not think innovatively, creatively. Through that, by increasing the effectiveness and the efficiency and lowering the waste We think with our thinking on the new and on the innovative, we develop better opportunities. Currently, about 24% of businesses implement or plan to implement artificial intelligence. Now, let's talk about the decisions. You need to make decisions in businesses. What is the building block? Remember from one of our first slides. What are the building blocks of our decisions? Our building blocks are the data. We need data to make decisions. But the data we manage to gather as executives are incomplete and inconsistent. How can we rely on this data? We cannot. Actually, even we have problems gathering this big data. This provides executives with a sophisticated model as basis to the decision making. Through managing together big data about, for example, marketing, what we do, we have a tool to make our decisions. What we need as decision makers is to have a reliable insight. For marketing, for example, the automation of market segmentation and campaign management has enabled efficient decision making and quick actions. And distribution automation through the artificial intelligence or the control, the retailers can accurately predict and respond to product demands. Okay? Robots have been tasked with the product monitoring and replenishment and other fulfillment. The artificial intelligence system is able to support decisions through real time. You know, the information is vital when we have it, when we need it. And we need it when we need it. It's the right time. The right time is the real time. It's good to understand when things, it's good to have it when it's when it happens. And also up-to-date data that is new, not the old one. Imagine we are a hotel in 2019 summer or spring 2019. We gather information and we want to apply the information next year, summer 2020. Is this data valid? No, because there's the pandemic, things changed. So do we get up-to-date information? because these would help us make our forecasting and find and do our trend analysis. Up here, I think maybe it's time to
yeah, like 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Okay, great. Okay.
Yeah, just let you know, friendly.
Yeah.
Keep going. Yeah, no worries.
What are the complexities to each marketing decision? To understand the needs. How do we understand the needs? By getting information. Align the products with the needs that the customers have. Grasp the changing consumer behavior. No. The behavior of consumers change rapidly. Once it changes, when are we going to find out? If we find out too late, so we don't have, as we said, the real time and updated data, then what we are going to offer our customers is not what they need, because their buying behavior may change. The consumer behavior may change. So as soon as we find it, we have to alter our decisions for offerings. Modeling and simulation techniques enable reliable insight to the buyer personas. Persona. What is a persona? It's not a person. Persona, it is, of course, it's a term of psychology. Persona is the mask that people wear. What is the mask? What they want to show others they are. So you buy a Mercedes and you say, oops, I have a nice car, an expensive car, a safe car, because I want to show the others that I like good cars, I have the money to buy it, I care about safety. But this is the face, not the face, the real face, but it's the mask. This is called the persona. And in marketing, we have to understand the personas. Now, predict the consumer behavior, how they're going to change it, what are the trends that exist, contact management, data reporting and analysis, and ranking, users' content preferences, if we are going to use the internet to talk to our clients, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Replicate the knowledge and reasoning to provide data assessment and recommendations. Yes. So modern marketing, to speak about marketing, relies on in-depth understanding of customer needs and preferences, and then the ability to act on knowledge quickly and effectively, because we care about delivering to our customers what they need. It's the ability to make real-time, data-driven decisions. And this will be done by the marketers. The benefits increase, using that as an example, using marketing and marketing decisions, it increases the marketing return on investment, because we make intelligent decisions on also allocate funds, 3 minutes, oops, 5 minutes. Yes. Allocate funds across the channels, because different level of funds may be needed. Analyze high-performing advertisement placements, increase the value for the marketing program, personalized content delivery. Marketers can use the artificial intelligence to identify potential clients and deliver the ideal content that's most relevant to them, so it will not be wasted because we care about efficiency, improve campaign reporting and measurement. It's difficult to combine and analyze the large amount of data that the campaign produced, but now through the artificial intelligence, we can do that, and also enhance marketing team performance. Some marketers can use real-time analytics, as we said earlier, to make better campaign decisions and improve the overall performance. Also, we increase efficiency. I think we have much time, so through the AI, we can use it in the repetitive tasks. So the efficiency is increased, we gain awareness and grow, and consistent user experience. So this is the videography that I have used to make this presentation. Okay, I think we have three questions, right?
Yes, there are some couple of comments in the chat box. Yeah, more than willing.
Let's see. Okay. Effective, of course, without the mistakes. Of course, humans make mistakes, and we make mistakes in various levels. The machines, if with a good algorithm, they don't make mistakes. Okay, in farming, in factories. Okay, they don't make mistakes. More productive, yes. Manufacturing companies, of course. Yes. Happy happy customers. Okay. Customer to be happy. Yeah, I'm buying things. When I'm buying things, I need somebody to persuade me to buy it. Even when I want it, even when I want to buy something, I want somebody to persuade me. For example, I want to buy a specific car, and I know I want to buy the specific car, but I go to the
Yeah,
the
sure.
store, the shop, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, the car dealer or whatever. Although I want to buy it, I resist to the change. We have what we call the resistance to change. We humans resist to. It's natural to us. We resist to the changes. So even if we want to buy something, when we go there to buy, and we need somebody to make us feel good by buying.
Yes.
To be sure, I don't know if the machine will do this, because different customers have different ways of thinking. Probably the machine will not do that.
Yes.
And if the customer comes from different culture, different things, different dimensions are important. A German has different priorities from me from Greece, from somebody in America, from somebody from Africa, somebody from Russia. from England, from France, different ways of making mistake, making a decision or mistake, as I said. So I don't know if we could have a system that would work globally. This is my point. I don't know if we could do this, because it would go against the local values. That's my opinion. But in factories, in the farming, in manufacturing, everywhere, it would be excellent. Even in shipping, I mean, a friend of mine, he came to Greece, where I'm located. Came from New York to Southeast Greece, and he told me all the they were just in the bridge of the ship, just checking if everything goes well. They did not do anything, because everything was done by the ship itself. The ship did everything. But I think I'd see one more comment. Way of human thinking change as the different peoples. Okay, yeah. This could be. Okay, I said earlier an example. When in UK you say it's cold in here, it means turn on the heat. It does not mean it's cold in here. Yeah, I know it's cold in here, but it means I'm freezing. Please turn on the heat. Or when I say, so I don't say what I mean. Or when I say, would you mind closing the window? What do I mean? Do I mean if you mind closing the window? No, I mean close the window. It's a direct order. Okay, but does the machine understand that? When I first went to UK and somebody told me, would you mind? I said, yeah, I mind. I mean, it's hot in here. I said, no, this is not what I mean. I mean, I'm freezing. Please close it. I said, okay, now I understand what you mean. But the machine cannot make these interpretations. Okay, or the machine could not. I mean, in different countries, we are more direct or more indirect. How can we have a machine that incorporates all these cultures? This is the issue. In automated work, yes, but less automated, we as humans, to speak to a machine, we have to communicate at face value. When I say white, I mean white. When I say red, I mean red. When I say dark, what I mean? It could be anything. When I say bright, what I mean? Can the machine understand what I mean when I blues? Well, in US, the blues. What is the blues? What does blues mean? It means bad mood, right? It's not a color. Or indeed, another thing, the colors in different cultures means different things. You see the cars. You go to a specific place. If you go to Dubai, all the cars are white. In my country, the white cars are the cheapest cars. And we know if we see a white car, the driver is a salesman. Okay, so that's why we have to be careful, because he's driving fast to go someplace. I mean, even things like that. Okay, Tesla cars. Yeah, probably. Yeah, they make improvements. Yes, the Tesla. Yeah. Okay, that's great.
Okay.
But you know, I have an example I did not mention in this presentation. We have an automatic, not automatic, I mean, a car that goes by itself, and it drives on the streets, and there's a person, a man walking there. Does it know if the human will cross the road? If the human will act rationally or irrationally? No, it does not. The machine would say, I'm a car, it's a human. Of course, I have to protect the human. So, but the human is rational, as I'm rational as a machine. Is the machine going to act as rational? No, we said earlier that the decisions we make are rational. Rational. I mean, we see a friend on the other sidewalk and say, hey, we want to see him without checking for cars. It's irrational.
That's all the questions and the comments. Thank you
Yes.
so much, Dr.
Thank
Kamsaris,
you.
for a wonderful presentation.
Thank you very
I'm
much.
pretty sure like all the attendees have gained much knowledge, and I hope it has been much insightful for all attendees who are really interested in learning artificial intelligence in decision making. And I hope they can remember those useful information in this session and really put them into use. And it was really inspiring and motivating reach for everyone in this section. Yeah, if we do not have many other, if we do not have more questions, I will now end the webinar. And everyone, please make sure you fill out the survey at the end of the webinar. And thank you so much for coming, everyone. And especially thank you, Dr. Kamsaris, for your time today, despite this such a busy schedule. We hope to have you with us again in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Thank you.